Although some revamp updates in Tower Heroes really suck, are things like Volcano Valley, really subtle Castletown revamp, but I think there are many maps and heroes that need revamps. I know this isn't a map that I'm going to start with, but I think Fracture 100% needs a revamp in its design. I think its design kind of sucks, and Skeleton King is just a far better design for him because the base skin is ugly. Like, this is bad. And I feel like they wouldn't do this for a couple reasons. Mainly, it would take a while. But also at the same time, they've done things with Scientist where Mini Laser is its new canon design rather than the really big machine. Hence why in modern skins... Okay, not that one. Hence why in a lot of new skins, they just completely replace the laser with the Mini Laser. Spectre really does, because some of his middle levels just kind of suck. Slime King definitely needs one because it kind of just sits in a chair as it progresses, and that doesn't fit with the Tower Heroes style. Anyway, what I think needs a huge revamp are certain maps in the game. Example, these two maps already got revamps, and I think they're really good. But there are some older maps, and maps that flat out suck that really do need revamps. For example, Glowing Glacier. Glowing Glacier is a really old map, and seeing as nowadays that they do a lot more stuff with Frosty Mountain, I think that it's the perfect time to actually try and adapt that into a map. Much like they did with Aftermath. But I think Glowing Glacier would really benefit from this, mainly due to the fact that its path isn't exactly the best, its design is just not it, and its enemy selection kind of sucks, honestly. It's an okay map, but it could do a lot better. I think the same goes for Cloudy Catastrophe. It's really good in its visuals, but I feel like if it was made nowadays with some, compared to other maps that are made more recently, it would just be far better, especially with such a unique and fun map. It would definitely benefit from it. The same with Rooftop Rumble. It's not exactly the most interesting raid map, and I know that they don't like to do raid maps anymore unless it's Minesweeper, but it would totally benefit from it. Because the map on its own, it's got boring enemies, bosses are a little cool, I guess. And of course, the pathing for it, it's boring. I just hate Fruitful Fight. I think Fruitful Fight, visually, what the fuck? I think that there's too much going on with it. The path sucks. The enemies suck. But again, it's modern, and it's not something old that deserves a revamp. Frantic Force, I think it already did get a revamp, I guess. As well as, new enemies, I guess. But at the same time, I still think that Frantic Force would benefit from a revamp. It's one of the original maps made for the game. And of course, its skin's old, pretty fucking bad, right? And I think that it would definitely benefit from it. Same with more, old raid maps, like Facility Raid. I'd even go as far to say Facility Frenzy would benefit from one as well. Though I guess with these maps, their age definitely helped with their charm. And so, it's okay. Abandoned Alleyway is a good map. It could say Sacred Shrine's gotta go. I know, I guess you could say I'm partially biased in this. Seeing as not exactly the biggest fan of Quill. But at the same time, I think Sacred Shrine needs a fucking revamp. Not only was it helped made by Rock Serpent and Boxboy Jakers, the pedophile, the entire reason we did a Hideaway High revamp. But also, Quill sucks. Oh, also not to mention the whole, misrepresentation of mixing multiple cultures into one, that whole thing. That's not even to mention fucking Yasuke. We all know the name problem. We all know the problem. But also, his design kind of fucking sucks. And I think if they ever, wanted to change Yasuke, who, yeah, kind of, so with like some towers, he's got a lot over the meta, if you could say there's a meta. I think that it's just Sacred Shrine needs a revamp. That's all I can really say. I know it's like the thumbnail thing, but you're practically being handed the revamp. There's something by Jelly Jam. I did a video on it. Yeah, they did a Sacred Shrine revamp, and not only was it culturally correct, woohoo, but it was also far fucking better. Like, what I hate about Sacred Shrine is not only do the enemies suck, the skins are pretty mid. Yasuke, fucking, Yasuke's Yasuke. But overall, I think that they would just greatly benefit from a fucking revamp. Especially if Duck Anime Insider Knowledge, their plans to fix Yasuke's, like, whole naming thing in the future is to rename him. And, like, I don't think that would solve the problem. Well, the problem, it's a pretty fast solution. But you also have to take into account the map. And Quevler.
Not more than it means.
This map needs Drowsy Dreamland just got added. Same with fucking Silent Sanctuary. I know it's a lore map and all, but it looks like shit. Okay? I think it's a pretty interesting path and all. However, it just doesn't hold up well. I can see them doing some slight changes to branch, a couple changes to other towers and all, blah blah blah. But the map itself, its enemies, pretty boring. Its music, pretty boring. A lot of it can be changed. It's good map. I think Pirate Panic needs a revamp. Most raid maps in the game do need revamps, mainly because they reek of old and when there's actual passion. Yet again, handed to you by Jelly Jam. But I think the whole, like, goblin, like, mostly goblin enemies can be expanded, and you could probably do more pirate enemies. It's a pirate map, and yet it's hardly pirate themed outside of the boss and, like, 2 enemies. Also, the pathing can be a lot better, and so on. So just add... Ooh. Another map that is really old and needs a revamp. Alien Attack is a weird map. It's kind of hard. Was it hard? Decently. Back in the day. I don't know. I haven't played in like 3 years. Jesus Christ. It's a good map at its core, but its enemy selection, mostly alien. It's mostly aliens, and that's what makes it cool. But again, I think that it reeks of old, and they can do a lot better. Hideaway High, it was just added, and I will say this is an example of what to do in a good revamp. Not this, or this. This is, though. Not this, though. Relentless Perfection is not a revamp. Chaos Kingdom, though. I think Chaos Kingdom is such a good map. The random enemies, mwah, it's a beautiful map. But what I think could be enhanced a lot is not only the raid path in it, but also the way it's been designed. The bosses are fun, yes, but it can be revamped, especially when the bosses are just like... What is the boss for easy mode? It's the Corrupted Knight and then Void Reaper. Yeah, isn't it just the casual bosses? That's it's kind of lame. Oh, and not to mention, it's not even like supposed to be the end of the game, which like in the map you get a 1,000,000% damage boost to kill Jester's ridiculously high HP. This was supposed to be the end of the game, but no, instead you got a shit ass tower, and it's not even very enjoyable spirits anymore. Maybe because I will say it's a pretty easy map if you know what to do. Timeless Tower, it's a fairly new map, and I think it's good on its enemies and all. The path is really unique, and I will give him that. What was that? What'd I do? Okay. Blast Tech Barrage. Dark Adam Insider Knowledge. The original idea for this was supposed to be like, something about an office. I think that was really cool. Blast Tech Barrage, though, it's a great map. What I do wish they would do, though, is add more new enemies to it. Expand on like the business side of it a bit, you know, like they did with Corporate Chaos. But also I think Main thing I'd hope for them to do, give it music. Doubt it would greatly benefit from that. Also, the path kind of sucks. It's pretty horrible. And Old Bleak Barrens, this is the map. This is the hardest map of the game, as they say. Blast Axe not really that hard if you're good at fencing. Unique map, but its visuals, yeah, it's supposed to be like bleak. It's supposed to be like the Void from the MCU. I can't remember it. I'm sorry. Anyway, Cake Factory. Cake Factory's still new. It doesn't need anything. The library could benefit from a revamp, I will say. The enemy selection is great. Of course, the skins are great. Everything about that is great. But the issue, Doors changed their library. They updated it. Should they update the Tower Hughes map to correspond with that? Maybe. The Outdoors is good enough. And it's new. Notice Resort, it doesn't need one because it's the same as the game, and that's all that matters. Metaverse Madness, not really the event anymore. Toy Takeover, holiday maps should get some revamps, especially if they're pretty old, pretty shitty. And okay, here's the thing. Seeing as they go further and further into the game's lifespan, they're running out of holiday map ideas. Right? Like, Festive Fright was pushing it, come on. But still, it can be done. Oddport Academy, uh, I guess if you did another algorithm, like you had a more Oddport Academy related stuff, you would. Why is this a special map? This isn't a special map. Why the fuck they do this? Oh, isn't it technically a club? Yeah, technically. But still, Idle Encore isn't exactly a hard map. It isn't exactly a good map. It's a map. That's all it really has going for it. Does it deserve to get a revamp though? No. I think it's good. It's good enough. Sweet Sunrise fucking sucks. I hate to say it. I hate the way this map is designed. It's like, let's just throw a bunch of random shit together. And it looks bad because of it. Grasslands, it keeps it to the style of the game, and that's what makes it great. Oh, not to mention the portals. Raw Day Rumble, also a really good map. It's clean. It incorporates Raw Day very well into it. Like a bunch of Raw Day stuff, and I think that's what makes it really cool. Bustling Bakery, though. I think Bustling Bakery can get a revamp, honestly. Mainly due to the fact that, the map feels pretty empty somehow. Maybe because it's a fucking kitchen and there's so much room. Disaster Hotel, it keeps the theme in line, yeah. Its path kind of fucking sucks though, but it's also really unique, and that's what's enjoyable about it. Burrow Brawl, I guess. If you really wanted to, this could be revamped. Yeah, if they really want to. Festive, right, I don't see why this is a level 10 plus map, especially when it's piss easy. Well, I actually, no, it's not. Yeah, if you, like, force kids and, like, targeted enemies this early, like, what the fuck? It's a really good map. It was literally the last map added. It deserves to stay. Aftermath, I don't like Aftermath as a map, mainly because it adds nothing new. But again, it's a collab with themselves, and they just kind of put that one out because it was like, fuck it. Less modeling. Less modeling, at least. Snowy Slopes, good map. Frigid Fortress, good map. Builder Survive, good map. And Minesweeper, good. I have all Minesweeper mods. Good map. So, at the end of the day, what do I think about all of these maps? I think a lot of maps do deserve to be revamped, as, that entire video was about. Is this Bill yet? No. Oh, and Easter too. Where do I start? Gleaming Guard, good enough. Easter Eggland, probably a little bit more. Still Greeks of old, even though it's the first revamp they ever did. Halloween Havoc deserves a revamp 100%. Looks like shit. Creepy Carnival, still new. Mangled Manor, it's an alright map. Ghouling Graveyard, it's good enough. Pumpkin Paranoia, perfect. Aftermath, I already did that. And that's all. Okay. Well, that's a speed run. I think that most of these maps do deserve it, honestly. What do I say about updating? Who cares? As long as they add new stuff, I'm happy. But in certain scenarios, like, I don't know, it's like, you have time before, like, a holiday event or something. You already did it because this is the ideal Pixelbit workflow. So you already got your holiday stuff done, like contracts and all. It's like, you know, I think we can give a map a redesign. Go ahead. Okay, go ahead. Even in some maps where all you really need to change is like the enemy selection, all of Sacred Shrine, whatever floats your boat, honestly. That's all there is to say.
You knew